I hate being a Fallout fan. Now, when I say that, I assume most of you watching think that it means I'm just disappointed with current day Fallout games because they're not like the older ones. That theory is actually correct. Well, at least the disappointed part. See, this isn't going to be yet another video talking about, oh, Fallout used to be better. Why won't they make another Fallout game like New Vegas? Fallout 76 can die in a nuclear fire. Both you and me have probably heard those valid complaints before, but I'm going to throw my despair into the mix as well. This will hopefully not be that long of a rant, but buckle up just in case I start going off. Spoiler alert, I did go off. The script is like 1900 words. Oops. I'm not sure how many people have the same problem as me. I know of at least one person that kind of has the same problem, but that's it. The problem I'm referring to is that I'm a huge fan of the Fallout world, but not the story. That's not to say that I don't like Fallout stories. No, I'm just the type of person that doesn't like having to make huge decisions that impact a large story, where one decision could end up giving me a terrible ending. I just get anxious about who I'm supposed to be helping, and it's just not what I want from a video game. So you might be asking, then why the fuck are you even playing Fallout games? And that's a great question. The answer to that question is Fallout 4. I saw my older brother playing the game, and it looked like a lot of fun to run around a wacky wasteland whilst listening to good-ass 50s music. So that's why I bought it and ended up playing it. Now what about the dialogue? Wouldn't this make me dislike the experience? Well, Fallout 4's dialogue is basically press A simulator or X if you played it on PlayStation. The speech options were so basic and there were only 4 options. Because of this, I could just breeze past the conversations and move on with my life that consisted of looking for screws and gears and singing along poorly to the ink spots. I spent so many hours just exploring and expanding my collections of power armor, bobbleheads, magazines, cool weapons, and other nifty trinkets. I built a fancy mansion on the island, completed the occasional side quest, and slowly made my way towards the Institute and my lost son. It was really enjoyable before I got there, but when you reach the Institute and find Sean, it takes a bit of a turn. At this point, the story wants you to make a hard choice, so now the good guy and bad guy options matter way more. And I don't want to have to choose between my no moral son, the Brotherhood of Shoot Everything, the Make a Robot Marriage Illegal crew, and the support group for settlements in need of help. At this point in the story, I just fully embraced my Swedish habit of just not interacting with people unless I had a reason to, like shopping or talking to a friend. So that's my problem. I hate having to make huge decisions in Fallout games, and all I want to do is explore the world like a way above average scavenger, but at the time of me playing Fallout 4, there was no such experience. Fallout New Vegas had a lot of high-stakes dialogue, and Fallout 3 was more linear, but there's also the issue that you can't quite upgrade your gear in those games in the same way as you can in Fallout 4. And let's not mention Fallout 1 and 2 for obvious reasons. But what could I do? If only Bethesda could make a Fallout game where I could just mind my business, explore a fun world, get stronger, and dream about Tennessee Ernie Ford singing me a bedtime lullaby. But what's this? Oh, it's just a game like that. Wow, Fallout 76, a game with no stupid NPCs, no huge plot, just good old-fashioned fun. Yeah, I thought Fallout 76 was fantastic when it released. I spent countless days just wandering this gorgeous map, listening to great music with no annoying interruptions from a shitty NPC, finding really cool locations, really enjoying my time finding the Tales of West Virginia Hills tapes.
Welcome back, dear listeners. It's time once again to put aside all you think you know, all you believe to be true. Time to open your mind to the strange, bizarre, and sometimes terrifying world that exists in the shadows and fringes of our own, where myth, legend, and rumor are made real. Yes, it's time for more thrilling tales from the West Virginia hills.
Seeing the mysterious creatures from actual West Virginia legends like the fucking Mothman, making my gun stronger and upgrading my armor and finding costumes to put on my character. Like, yes! Fallout 76, when it first came out, was my ideal Fallout game. But then, the internet just had to make a big stink about it and now it's tainted my experience. Now, I'm going to be honest, Fallout 76 is still my favorite Fallout game, and it's essentially the same game. However, the NPCs were 100% not worth it in my opinion. For starters, the first thing that you're most likely going to come across when you exit the vault are these two characters that just delay the fun. I'm fairly certain that you can just run past these two, but they're just so unnecessary. They only exist to point you in the direction of the nearby bar where you meet another predictable character that you've already met in thousands of movies, books, and of course, games. It's the tough and rugged bar owner chick that doesn't take shit from no one, and she probably has a shitty past, most likely involving her parents dying when they were like -6 months old, so they had to learn how to pay post-apocalyptic taxes at the age of 2. And then immediately after meeting her, you get roped into a quest where you help her kill this fucking guy or whatever. I can't remember because it's a repressed memory, but like, I just exited the vault. My character has spent several years underground, away from strangers and away from danger and any kind of combat. And now I'm supposed to talk to dangerous people that kill on a daily basis? Like, at least take me on a dinner date before you expect me to risk my life. Again, I think you can decline to help her, but still. This would have worked a little bit better had they just directed the player to the bar after they've been introduced to the game's mechanics like the survival aspects and the combat. Then, when the player has at least had a chance to get some footing, it would feel less rushed to accept missions like that. It's still not a huge deal or anything, but it does feel like Bethesda really wants you to go to the bar as soon as possible. The second stupid thing is the Overseer. In the first versions of Fallout 76, you went on a quest to find where the Overseer went by finding her holotapes and listening to her story. I enjoyed this because it gave me a reason to explore new areas beyond just going there for the fun of it. And this quest is still here in NPC-filled Fallout 76, but now the quest is just so stupid. Why, you ask? Well, it's because the second area you're supposed to go to find the Overseer's tape is also the same fucking place where the Overseer ended up living. Like, she's just there. Now, she isn't standing on the holotape itself, and so it is possible to miss her, but what most players do when they find a new location is that they explore the majority of that location so that they don't miss out on valuables. Like, if I find a town in Fallout where I haven't been before, then yeah, I'm going to explore all of it to get all the good items that will help in future situations. So it is very likely that you'll stumble upon the Overseer's new house up on the hill, especially since it's more in one piece compared to the other buildings. So you'll be curious and wondering what happened to the Overseer, and then you just bump into her like, okay, I guess I figured it out. Like, at least put her in a bunker somewhere behind a locked door that can only be opened when you've collected all the holotapes, or at least acquire like a key card that's at the last holotape. Don't just completely ruin the mystery. But these 2 points pale in comparison to the most atrocious addition in this shit show. And that is the fucking radio host. If there's one thing that I love more than anything else in the Fallout series, then it has to be the radio. I adore listening to the radio and exploring at the same time, and it's a great source of new music for me whenever I play a new Fallout game. It's just so delightful, and in pre-NPC land Fallout 76, it was perfect. Because there was no radio host telling me the same 5 funny, quirky, inspiring lines over and over before the next song played. Like, I'm here to enjoy some bops, and all you're doing is delaying that experience, and you make it worse when the song that's almost always played gets played again. Just shut the fuck up and play the music. Just to show you what I'm mad about, here are some of the radio host Julie's voice lines.
Coming up next is Nat King Cole with Orange-Colored Sky, a phenomenon which used to occur for only natural reasons. What would the modern equivalent of this be? Deathclaw Steak Pete. Doesn't quite have the same ring to it. Mutt Chops Pete. That just sounds like you're making fun of his face. I'll keep working on it, friends.
Yeah, it's not exactly fun to have to wait longer for the music, but it gets worse.
Hey, friends. Julie here. I wanted to take a second to talk about something important to me. This radio station. I try not to talk about myself too much, but maybe you've heard me mention it before. I'm only 23, but I've had more than my share of bad times. I don't say that to get you to feel sorry for me. I know that so many of you out there have had difficult lives, too. Some far, far harder than mine. I say it because I want you to know I can relate. I know what it's like to lose family and friends.
Julie, please just play the music. Yeah, hope and all that is important, I guess, but you take so long to finish that I'm starting to lose hope that I'll ever hear another song again. I'm only slightly joking when I say that this is the biggest problem with adding the NPCs. It really is just so unnecessary, and it adds zero, nothing, nada. You might say that it makes the world feel more real, and I can agree that it would be more realistic to have a host for the radio station, but this is a game with giant flying dragon bats. I think we can discard realism at this point. Overall, as I stated previously, I still like Fallout 76. It's still basically the same game, but they did make it worse. And this is just what happens when people ask the developers of a game to change the game so drastically. Fallout 76 was built around not having human NPCs, and so when you ask for them to be in the game, it ends up being a lot trickier to please all players. Because if Bethesda made the NPCs more unavoidable, like if they were just more integral to the world, then all fans of the previous versions of Fallout 76 would be heavily disappointed because the experience is now so incredibly different. The new players would also be disappointed due to the experience being a mess, since it's so difficult to completely restructure a game like that. Had they implemented the NPCs from the very start, then it would have turned out way better. At least for everyone else, because I'm still never going to have my perfect Fallout game, and that's totally fine since I'm not really supposed to be a Fallout fan anyway.